Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the AM Report. Well, let's go into this one now. And the Gauteng Department of Education has launched an investigation into an alleged bullying incident at Sutherland High School. Now, this probe comes after a video went viral on social media of a mother sharing her daughter's experience of bullying at the school. It is understood that a male grade 10 pupil had been bullying the girl for quite some time. But for more on this, we are now joined by the parent, Thembi Mutana, and the Gauteng education spokesperson, Mr. Steve Mabona. Steve, thank you so much for making time for us. I think I'll start with you before we go to Thembi on the line, because there has been some response from the education department. But take me through your initial reaction when you saw the video and, of course, saw the outrage and somewhat of the reaction on social media following that.
Now, good morning to you, Andy, and to all our viewers and the parent on the line, Thembi. Yes, we did receive the complaint, from her, and we then interacted with the school to say we have this matter that need to be attended to, and on the same day, she then visited the school, interacted with the principal. Then the principal had to explain the process on how to investigate or to take action against any incident that would have been reported, at the school. And there was an assurance that they need to conduct a preliminary investigation before they can take any action. But fast forward, then probably the parent was not happy with the response, from the school. And she reached out to us again. We then facilitated that the officials now from the district, including the principal and the parent, need to have a meeting so that they can have a discussion on how we're going to be moving forward on this matter. And during that process, then we learned that this matter was not attended, appropriately by the educator. It's an allegation that we are then investigating as a department, but there was an assurance here in that meeting that an investigation by the school will then continue, and they will start with the process of disciplinary. You will understand that in a disciplinary process of children, parents must be involved. So they need to check availability of both parents, and so that sitting will then be appropriate, because we can't have a sitting of such nature without the parents' participation. So that's where we are at this moment.
Well, you mentioned that the parent was perhaps not happy with how the matter was handled. Let's bring in the mother of the grade 10 pupil now, Thembi, as we take a look at exactly what it is that happened, perhaps for the benefit of our viewers, to outline the bullying incident and the steps that were taken up until this point since you uploaded the viral social media video.
Good morning, Newzroom Afrika and the listeners. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for having me today. This is quite an important topic, and it's really close to a lot of parents. I heard about the bullying incident on Monday morning. Kanyisile gave me a call, and she was hysterical. She was crying. She couldn't even talk properly. And what she said is that, "Mommy, I've had enough. I'm tired of this. Can you please come and fetch me? I'm being bullied." I then rushed over to the school to find out what is happening. I got to the school, and I was assisted at the discipline office of the school. I spoke to two educators there, and I feel that I wasn't assisted because I immediately asked for a meeting between the alleged perpetrator and the parents, with myself and Kanyisile to discuss the matter. The school does say that the bullying is zero tolerance, and I feel that the way that it has been handled, it didn't echo the sense of zero tolerance. There was no urgency in it, and I feel that it should have been handled better. It is Friday today, and it has been a week. Mr. Mabona did say that we had a meeting yesterday with the education department, the principal, as well as a representative from the MEC office. They have been tasked to deal with the matter urgently and with speed, and we await the results of the investigation.
Was this the first time your daughter had reported such bullying? Was it the first incident, or had you heard about such incidents of bullying before, and this was perhaps the breaking point at which your daughter then came to you and said, I simply cannot take it anymore?
She had reported it before. It was another perpetrator. It was a year and a half ago, and the perpetrator got a demerit. And the bullying has been happening in the presence of educators, and it does actually involve one of the teachers as well that has also been calling my daughter names to basically perpetuate or entertain the bullying. It actually started in grade 7, so it has been 4 years that she has been bullied.
Steve, that's quite concerning when you're hearing an allegation from the parents saying that the educator was somehow involved in matter of fact, perpetuated some of the bullying as well. Is this the report that you got from the education department? And if so, what investigations have gone in to ensure that, this does not reoccur? And has there been any sanction to the teacher at this stage, or is it still preliminary investigations?
No, we've launched an investigation yesterday. So it will be premature for us to even make further comments, because we need to give the process an opportunity. So remember, we are talking about an employee who has also rights. So you need to tread very carefully. If you launch an investigation, you must collect all evidence that will then be assisting you as a department to start with the process, whether it will be a disciplinary process, anything that you're going to do, you need to then, get all sides, that's why we insisted that the disciplinary process, yes, must continue. We need to hear from the alleged perpetrator, and then the school has a responsibility because they are responsible for discipline. That is the SGB and the school management. They manage discipline. That's why as a department, we will not even interfere with the process of discipline. But our concern is allegations against educator, and that's where we'll be focusing, on making sure that we take necessary action. But the disciplinary matter, we are monitoring that very closely as well.
Do you feel as the education department that you are handling and you have a grip on the bullying incidents? Because you think back to September of last year, there was a mass protest by parents in another Pretoria school, rural school, Wilges, where many of them shared incidents of bullying. And again, the statement from the department was, we're offering social services to the students and we will be investigating. But since then, less than 6 months, in fact, we didn't really hear anything further coming out of that particular incident either. Do you feel you have a good handle on the bullying incidents that we're seeing spurring up in high schools, particularly in that Pretoria region?
No, I need to correct you. On that matter, we did a lot of work. The perpetrator was expelled in that school. So we did not sit and not do anything. So I must correct you. There was action that was taken. In all the incidences, there will be action that will be taken. Bullying, it's a zero tolerance in our space. I mean, there's a recent incident that occurred in Yesterdays 2 days ago. We are also going to act decisively there. Any moment where we learn about it. That's why when such matters are not managed properly, we will then launch our own investigation if there's an allegation against our employees. And we will encourage learners to always report these matters. And if they are not reported, then it becomes a challenge. She mentioned a matter of grade 7. Grade 7 is not the same school. It's another school. So we will then have to look into that as well, because probably it's a different perpetrator, and check on whether it was reported at that time. If it was reported, why there was no any action? Because if there was no action, then it's a challenge. But we'll go interact with the parent again, check on the facts around the grade 7 matter, and go back to the school and then finalize the matter. But we have a zero tolerance on bullying incidents, and we take action, ourselves when our employees are at fault, and when learners are at fault, the SGB, as they govern the school, as parents, and the school management, they normally take action against the perpetrators.
Yeah, I want to come back to Thembi Mutane, because that's not the end of it, Thembi, because there were other allegations in this particular incident referring to calls that you were receiving, perhaps threatening and wanting to get you to desist from pressing charges there. Firstly, your response to that, and then secondly, of course, at the heart of it is your daughter. How has she been handling this, and how is she doing after such an incident that went public and everyone now knows about what she had suffered at school?
It's truly difficult, and I must just say that for grade 7, when it started, it is actually the same perpetrator. I want to say that Kainsele is definitely finding it difficult. As a result, she has not been to school the entire week. We found out yesterday there's a group of supporters that are supporting the movement, and we found out yesterday that is actually the perpetrators have resorted to cyberbullying. So they have created now a page that is specifically bullying Kainsele, and that will assist us with the evidence. We have the screenshots, although the page has since been taken down. I'm worried about her education, because, I mean, the alleged perpetrator is getting his education, is in a safe environment where he is learning. Kainsele is not receiving that learning. It's difficult. We have since also asked the school to prepare a learning packs, you know, with notes and the schoolwork that she needs to do so that she can catch up. We are yet to still receive that.
Concerning, Steve, your response to that, child missing out on education, yet to receive a pack, while the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, is getting his education.
No, thanks very much. The commitment was made yesterday in that meeting. I mean, it's today, it's still in the morning. They had to prepare the pack. And we've committed that we will support the child with the curriculum, delivery. And also, we also understand that the perpetrator is not even, or the alleged perpetrator is not at school as well. The child as well need to be supported. Because we look at children, we are a developmental institution. We look at all children, look at the circumstances, look at what is on the table, and make sure that we support our children. Because these are children, we need to understand that they must be developed. Outside curriculum, the behavior, that's why in the event of anything, discipline must be effected. That's why we also have a code of conduct. In all our schools, there's a code on how a learner must conduct themselves. And that code of conduct would have been signed by the parents. So we call upon parents to work with us and also instill discipline in their children, because it starts at home. If a child is ill-disciplined at home, when coming to school, probably will be misbehaving. So we just want to call upon parents to work with us and make sure that children understand when they go to school, they are there to be developed, they are there for education and for their future.
And just before we get closing remarks from Thembi, you speak about it being a developmental institution and perhaps the action that you want to see from parents. When does it become a bit too much? Because some might argue that children are just being children. They will, make fun of certain things. But when does it cross the line then and become bullying that parents need to take a bit more closer attention at looking at?
No, anything that is, it's something that the other child does not like. It starts there. If you say something that I don't like, if you do something that I don't like, you have a right to report to the office to say, this is what I'm experiencing, so that it can be nipped. Because sometimes you will allow things to happen only to find that they perpetuate into bigger things. So the sooner it happens, that's why we encourage the school to reiterate and send the communique. They've sent a communique to parents to say, if you detect anything, work with us and encourage your child to report. But also, the communique was talking to the school community to say, let's report. Rather, we have had to deal with the one will be saying, I reported and nothing was not done. Then there's a department who will be decisive on the action that must be taken. Because all our educators, everyone in our community, knows that bullying is a zero tolerance in our space.
Zero tolerance, Thembi. Just in closing then, how would you like to see this matter being resolved? For you to be happy and say that the education department has taken the necessary steps, what is the outcome that you want to see?
I have faith in the education department, and I will certainly give them a chance to put in the corrective measures in this case. My approach initially, when I got to the school on Monday, was to have a conversation around table discussion with the alleged perpetrator and the alleged parents. I was not then given that opportunity. Instead, the approach from the alleged parents was, a lawsuit and being defensive to alleged perpetrator, which I think didn't help the situation, and think I further got aggravated with regards to that approach. I feel that this could have been solved in a much better way, but at the moment it has completely gone the opposite direction. And as I've mentioned, that there is a case that has been opened concurrently with the investigation of the school as well as the education department. I need justice to be served, not only for Kainsile, but for the other kids that have the reported bullying. I want also the entire South Africa to really take a stand on bullying, because these are our future leaders. This will affect our children tremendously. That is not what we want. We don't want children that need to heal from their upbringing.
So would you like to see the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, being expelled then?
100%. Thank you.